Welcome, and come on in to the home of British motor racing. Halfway through the season, it's too early to call the championship. Can teams make good before the summer break, or will they be hoping for a reset? In the last round, Max Verstappen flew to victory, the Dutchman proving that he can be absolutely unstoppable when he's in such fine form. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Formula One.
Hello everybody and welcome to another F1 Manager 24 video. In today's video we are at the British Grand Prix for, is this round 12 of 17? Let me try and find out. Oh, anybody changed? No one's changed engine supplier. And coming to the end now of free practice 1 in this session. Sergio Perez was P12 and Bottas was P21, but we're running quite warm components, so it's not really representative. But it was Verstappen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Norris, Hadjar, Piastri, Vesti, Lawson, Colapinto and Hulkenberg. But we have some huge upgrades on for Hungary, so this race is just the last race until we get a massive performance boost. And I'm so looking forward to Hungary. But yeah, that was all from FP1. Let's head in to FP2. So that is FP2 finished, and Yuki Tsunoda was top from Max, Oscar, Lance, Lando, Fernando, Andrea, Kimi Antonelli, Perez, Lawson and George Russell. Yeah, Perez only got his lap where he was because on the lap he set it on, I called him into the pit lane.
Okay, that's the flag.
Sit rep at the end of FP3, Bottas is just on a push lap, and we got setup confidence and track acclimatization with both drivers. Bottas goes up to P7, that's nice, which means the final order in FP3 was Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Yuki Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Valtteri Bottas, Carlos Sainz, Andrea, Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton. What did we get for driver confidence? 96 and 94, that's not bad going.
Now it's time to see who'll come out on top as qualifying gets underway.
The high-speed corners at Silverstone are a great challenge for the cars and drivers. The technical Sector 1 rewards strong mechanical grip, while high-speed aerodynamic efficiency will come into play in the final two sectors.
Now there's been a bit of talk about Sergio Perez of late. How's he going to be feeling, do you think?
Well, they're certainly delivering better results than their teammate, and they'll be expected to keep that up for the rest of the weekend.
And you're right. Well, it's nearly time for qualifying.
Right, so the first lap in Q2 is going to be on these worn mediums. Yeah, and then we're going to do a run on the fresh softs, but it doesn't look like we're going to get any traffic, apart from potentially that kick Sauber. Oh, Gabriel Bortoletto made it through into Q2. Good job him. How does Perez get affected by the traffic? He doesn't. How does Bottas? He doesn't. Maybe a little bit of a wider line was made. He had to take a little bit of a wider line turn line, but apart from that, he would have been fine. Coming down towards Stowe and the club chicane, I think it is. God, I'm well out of sorts with F1. Perez is going to come up towards the line. It is a 25.9 and it is a 25.5 for Bottas. And we are 8 tenths off Lewis Hamilton on fresh softs, which is to be expected, I think.
Yeah.
And Bottas was just letting a Ferrari through. Is he going to make the line? He is, and that Ferrari's going to get out of the way. Probably a lot better than we got out of his way. Is there only... Okay, that would have been Hamilton. I was going to say that wouldn't have been Leclerc. 24.7 in the first sector for Perez. 24.9 for Bottas. So not a great first sector for Bottas. I think this is a car also on a lap which Perez is catching. I hope it's not a car on their in or out laps. If so, they're getting in the way, and that's well annoying. 36.8 in the middle sector for Perez. 36.8 in the middle sector as well for Bottas. Coming round through the final corners. Perez is currently in the elimination zone, needs a lap, goes P5. Bottas also needs a lap, goes P7. Leclerc never got a lap in and is P16. And Antonelli is also knocked out in Q2. Both our cars make it through. So starting our first lap in Q3 with Valtteri Bottas on scrub soft tyres. He's just going to get out of the pits in front of Lance Stroll. Sergio Perez would not have been that fortunate. And Lance Stroll was going to be in his way somewhere, is he? Yeah, he's just there. That's fine. Bottas done a 24.7 in the first sector. Perez done a 25.1, so that's not ideal from Perez. Decent from Bottas though. Very, very decent. Okay, Bottas with a Perez with a 37.3 and Bottas with a 36.8. Bottas on a storming lap. Bottas going to come across the line, do a 124.8. Perez does a 125.8. Yikes, and even Liam Lawson is half a second quicker. Jeez, Louise. We're starting our last lap in Q3. Perez has just gone on to a flying lap. Bottas is just starting a flying lap and left it a bit late, and I put them too close together, which is my bad. We are currently on the first row of the grid, P2. That would be an awesome place. It's a yellow first sector. That's not what we need. What does Perez get? It's a green. That's good. That's good. I would love to see purple, but we have to have our head on our shoulders, I suppose, and our expectations set real. Alonso goes P5, Hamilton P7, and Bottas is going to get blocked. Perez better not get blocked. Perez has been blocked as well on his final run. What is Bottas going to do as he crosses the line? He's been robbed of the first row of the grid. But what can Perez do as he crosses the line? Goes P4. If we can lock out the second row, I'll take that. We are going to lock out the second row. It's P3 and P4 at the British Grand Prix qualifying. And if we were a 10th slower, if Perez was a 10th slower, he would have been... Where would Perez have been? 25.0. So if he'd done 25.138, he'd have been tied with Lando. But look, Perez done a 24.6. That would have been good. Well, that would have been good enough to just beat Valtteri. But still, he would have been fighting for the front row with that. And Bottas' fastest time was in Q3. But anyway, let's head to race day.
"52 laps around Silverstone await our drivers as the anticipation continues to build."
Silverstone is certainly a circuit rich in Formula One history, from Giuseppe Farina winning the first championship race held here in 1950, right through to Lewis Hamilton's 2008 masterclass on racing in the rain.
Silverstone is a power circuit. It demands downforce and total confidence in the car for a driver to keep their foot planted through Sector 2, through the high-speed corners at Woodcote and at Copse, and carrying on through Maggots and Beckett's. The excitement is building, there's electricity in the air. But there's no surprise in that. It's race day. Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race.
This race sees them start in P22, and that's an awful lot of cars to have to get through.
But just what will happen here, your guess is as good as mine. Hold on tight. It's the British Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And indeed it is lights and out and away we go, and I'm such a newbie because I forgot to do all this. Oh god, we're going to lose some positions off the start from 3rd and 4th. Or are we? Bottas up to 2nd. Perez getting swallowed. I hope that's not in a derogatory context. Perez stays P4, Bottas up to P2. Right, neutral for both. Bottas takes the race lead. And let's quickly bring the pushing down. Perez on Piastri's arse. Hamilton and Leclerc must have taken engine penalties, right? They take engine? I didn't see that. Hamilton and Leclerc have taken engine penalties, have they? Yes, they have, because they both started at the back. Silverstone is not the place to start at the back, guys. Bottas and Verstappen fighting, and Verstappen, holy shit. That's one place. Oh, Perez up to P3, let's go. Verstappen overtakes Bottas, Perez up into P3. We are currently, we've just got to stay with these guys until the mediums become better, but we are currently P3 and P2. Let's a little bit. Max sets fastest lap. He knows he needs to get away, and he has done. So now let's bring both drivers back up to push mode aggressive and try and get them pushing. Perez is thinking about it on Valtteri. Down the inside with the DRS. Is Valtteri going to let it happen? He should do, really. He's not, though. He's going to fight it. He is going to force Perez the long way round. And he's going to force Perez around the long way round at 9, but Perez makes it around the outside of Cops, but unfortunately he's put him vulnerable to Piastri, and Bottas is now down to P4, fighting Piastri though. Can he get P3 back? He can. And let's try and see. I don't want to slow down Perez. Well, whoever's the leading car, is there a point in them being aggressive? Well, I don't want to do too much, but there's no point having the leading car go aggressive. Would have tried the 3-stop if I was Ferrari. Because what have you got to lose, really? Oh, and Bottas has just been done around the outside by Perez. Not by Perez, by Norris, sorry. And Norris is now going to come for Perez, and he's got him. Norris up into P2, so we're down to P3 and P4. Perez now gets Norris, which is good, but we don't need to be in front of him. And Bottas is definitely close, so we can lift off a bit. But now that they're fighting, let's conserve with Bottas. Really light on the tyres. Oh, they're weaving and darting around over there. No, don't worry about it. Oh, no. Don't lose position. Don't lose. Yes, force him out. Well, let's try to not use too much. Oh, Perez got Norris. Norris is in. Norris has peeled into the pit lane. Right, Perez.
I think it will end soon.
Copy.
And there is Piastri, but Piastri peels in. Oh, is he going to go for the inside at 9? Bottas with a stunning move on the inside of Tsunoda. Verstappen comes into the pit lane. What's he going for? What have they all gone for? A range of mostly mediums. Verstappen with a pit stop mistake. Interesting.
And pit confirm when you can.
Yeah, copy.
Box, box.
Yeah, if we're going to be behind them all, how many people, what are they, most people have pit, and we would be in front of Hamilton, but with Bottas will be 28 off the lead by Sainz, who, so maybe we go hard with Bottas next stint, yes. Perez comes into the pit lane for a set of the mediums. Let's get the leader graphic up. 2.4 second stop, nice, not a bad stop. Verstappen did have a slow one, and he's not going to be far in front. But we have Piastri, Norris, Piastri and Stroll. We need to keep with these, so let's use a bit of fuel. Hamilton's had a pit stop issue, that's not ideal. Bottas is coming in this lap. Right, get Stroll, get Stroll, get Stroll, get Stroll. Get Stroll, please. Yes, that'll do. And Bottas is coming in for a set of the hards, and Stroll comes into the pits anyway. Good, Verstappen with the fastest lap. Bottas with a 2.4 stop as well. He is going to come out in a quite bad spot in P8. 5-6 seconds behind his teammate. He'd be where Leclerc is, and there is Perez overtaken by Yuki Tsunoda. So if Yuki wants to use his mediums that much, feel free, pal. Take us with you while you're there. Perez overtakes Tsunoda. Tsunoda overtakes Perez. These lot are faffing around while we've got Norris to go and catch, which is good. Now I reckon be a good time to use all our ERS and get after that McLaren. Come on, Tsunoda, give it up. Perez is going to go down the inside of Norris. Makes the move stick. I'm not worried about making the move. I'm just making sure these two are getting away from Tsunoda. Right. There we go. Even go attack. And he's just outside the range of these. Oh! Yellow flag, Antonelli and Stroll.
Caution for debris.
Now we can see what
What's happened here?
Look at the Mercedes. Cutting it so close. And the contact between the cars? Inevitable. And that won't do their confidence any good.
Not a fan of Lance Stroll, but Antonelli just fully turned into him, to quote George Russell. Since Hamilton's mechanical fault is getting worse in his new engine as well. Charles Leclerc's got into the points actually. But yeah, if Perez came into the pits, he would be 35 seconds off the lead, so he'd be in that nice gap between Russell and Lawson, and he's just overtaken Norris. And if Bottas came into the pits, he'd be 44 seconds off the lead, so just in front of Leclerc. So we have some nice gaps if we need them. We just need to keep them, and Norris going all the way around our outside. Piastri dives into the pits. And he is going... Perez overtakes Norris. What is Piastri coming in for? A set of mediums. It wasn't the quickest stop. It wasn't a slow stop either. He comes out behind Bottas, which is good. How far behind Bottas? Will he catch him? He's behind Alonso as well. That's brilliant. Verstappen comes into the pits. Goes onto a set of mediums. That's nuts. Is he going to come out in front of Perez? Not far off it, you know. Half seconds off the lead, which will be in a really good gap, so we don't need to worry. We are going to try and split. Yes, we've split the train. There's Norris. Here's Verstappen. Can we do anything to damage his race? Probably not. But Verstappen is on the end of this train. We've got an Alpine on the front of it. Russell's in the pits. Piastri is 6 seconds behind Bottas. Free rein to fight. And we come in and we are going to be getting an undercut on Norris and Tsunoda, which is exactly what we needed. Bottas is staying out there, continuing on. And he is going to go attack mode on the tyres and try and get everything out of those hards he can. We got onto hard tyres. It's 2.7 stops, so slow but not ridiculously slow. And we are out with a free track in front of us to Piastri. Over 10 seconds, 11 seconds, and we are 20 seconds off the lead, which in theory means we'd be in front of all those guys. We come in for softs on that McLaren. Because obviously they're going for the conservative strategy, but we're going for the aggressive, so we're going to go aggressive on hards. They're going low on soft, sorry. Comes into the pits. Was that just in time to see? Yep. See our driver get overtaken. Tsunoda's been held in the pits due to Bottas. That is beautiful. And out on mediums, and he's right there with Tsunoda. What's Tsunoda gone for? Softs as well. Bottas on mediums. Yeah, I reckon this might be the doom stint for Perez. Let's save that for a bit later. And Tsunoda is going to go down the inside of Perez. Going to break at roughly the same point, but Tsunoda's going to swoop around the outside and claim 4th position. I'm going to drive that way. He can drive that way. Probably could have pit Bottas. There we go. Run away. Final corner. To win the British Grand Prix. And Oscar Piastri coming around slow now.
Over the finish line.
Yes, just done that bit. Shush. Oscar Piastri gets P2. Lando Norris with P3. Perez with P4.
Checkered flag.
Tsunoda with P5. And Valtteri Bottas with P6.
P4. Good job.
We will take that, and it looks like
Great result, guys.
would it be Charles Leclerc
Thanks for
to
everything.
get P7?
Good
from
job.
the back of the
Well
grid.
managed.
That's not bad. Hamilton gets P12,
Into the pit lane.
and he is, and then it's going to be
Okay,
Alonso
that's the
and
checkered
Lawson
flag
to
here.
round out the points.
Sergio Perez with a very good showing here.
That's a solid points finish, and all in all, a good drive for them today.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record.
Taking their 8th win of the season, there's just no stopping them.
Well, we might be in Britain, but our podium finishers won't be celebrating with a cup of tea tonight. They'll be staying true to Formula One tradition. Well, Karun, how do you think they'll be feeling in the team garage at the end of that?
It's been a good weekend for the team. We've seen real promise from both drivers, and hopefully the strong form will continue.
And here in Silverstone, the weekend now draws to a close.
Next round, we're moving on to an exhilarating circuit. Formula One will be taking to the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
So that is the end of the race with Max Verstappen in P1, Oscar Piastri P2, Lando Norris P3, Perez P4, Tsunoda P5, Bottas P6. I think the middle stint sort of shafted him a little bit. Leclerc up 15 places to P7, George Russell up 8 places to P8, Fernando Alonso to P9, Liam Lawson P10, Lance Stroll P11, and Lewis Hamilton P12. Hamilton loses a place in the standings to Oscar Piastri. Perez gains more points on Tsunoda, loses some to Piastri though, so maybe he can solidify P3. And Bottas is only 18 points away from Lewis Hamilton, which could easily be achieved with a P2 performance. And in the Constructors, we gain more points over our rivals, and don't gain on Red Bull or McLaren, so we are solidifying that P3 position. And we got 6th and 7th in the Pit Stop Championship, which means 14 points there, which puts us 6 away from from Aston Martin, 10 away from Alpine, and 13 away from RB. So the goal is to try and get P4 there. And our pit stop was just a 10th off best. 1.9 million achieved for the sponsor money, sponsor bonus. Side pod has been manufactured. We have a sponsor plan that is going to help. And Javier Marcos Padros is up a rating, and one of the drivers is up a rating. Ooh, mid-season board review. Season objective, we're on target for 3rd. And score podiums in 25% of the season's races, 5 out of 4, so we've done that already. Board confidence is high, plus 1.5 million. So we've got 7 million at our disposal now, which is nice. I regret to inform you that Alpine has offered a contract. Wait, has he gone straight away? Valtteri Bottas is going to Alpine, ladies and gentlemen.